the true story of the three little pigs, okay? What is the difference between the other story? It's the same story only, right? It's by a wolf. Is it actually a wolf or his name is Wolf? Look, E. How is it E written? Everybody knows the story of the three little pigs. Yeah. Or at least they think they do. But I'll let you in on a little secret. Nobody knows the real story because nobody has ever heard my side of the story. We all heard pig's story like that only we heard, right?
Yeah.
So that is pig's version.
Yeah.
This is actually the wolf is writing the story. How that wolf is taking it. I am the wolf, Alexander T. Wolf. You can call me AI.
I think that's owl.
Yeah, AI how? Okay, yeah, Alexander Al. Okay, yeah. I don't know how this whole big bad wolf thing got started, but it's all wrong. So, ഇതുവരെ നമ്മൾ കേട്ടിരുന്നത് പിഗ്സിൻ്റെ സൈഡായിരുന്നു. ഇതിപ്പോൾ വൂൾഫിൻ്റെ. പിഗ്സിൻ്റെ സൈഡിൽ എന്താണ്? വൂൾഫ് ബാഡ് വൂൾഫാണ്. ഡേർട്ടി വൂൾഫ് ഹീ ഈസ് ലൈക്ക് അറ്റാക്കിങ് ദ പിഗ്സ്, റൈറ്റ്? ഇതിൽ പറയുന്നത് അതാണ് പറയുന്നത്. വൂൾഫ് പറയുന്നത് എങ്ങനെയാണ് ബിഗ് ബാഡ് വൂൾഫ് എന്നുള്ള ഇത് വന്നെന്ന് തന്നെ എനിക്കറിയാൻ വയ്യെന്ന്. സോ ഐ വിൽ ടെൽ യു ദ ട്രൂത്ത് എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞിട്ട് വോൾഫിൻ്റെ കഥ പറയുക. മേ ബി ഇറ്റ്സ് ബിക്കോസ് ഓഫ് അവർ ഡയറ്റ്. Hey, it's not my fault. Wolves eat cute little animals like bunnies and sheep and pigs. That's just the way we are. If cheeseburgers were cute, folks would probably think you were big and bad too. Okay, but like I was saying, the whole big bad wolf thing is all wrong. The real story is about a sneeze and a cup of sugar. This is the real story. Way back in once upon a time, I was making a birthday cake for my dear old granny. I had a terrible sneezing cold. I ran out of sugar. And what he did?
Sneeze plus sugar.
So I walked down the street to ask my neighbor for a cup of sugar. Now this neighbor was a pig. Oh, and he wasn't too bright either. He had built his whole house out of straw. Can you believe it? Oh, I mean, who in his right mind would build a house of straw?
Yeah.
So, of course, the minute I knocked on the door, it fell right in. I didn't want to just walk into someone else's house, so I called, little pig, are you in? No answer. I was just about to go home without the cup of sugar for my dear old granny's birthday cake. It makes sense, right? That's when my nose started to itch. Yeah, I know. I felt a sneeze coming on. Well, I huffed and I snuffed. And I sneezed a great sneeze. Achoo! Oh, got it. And you know what? That whole darn straw house fell down. And right in the middle of the pile of straw was the first little pig, dead as a doornail. He had been home the whole time. It seemed like a shame to leave a perfectly good ham dinner lying there in the straw, so I ate it up. Think of it as a big cheeseburger just lying there. Because normally wolf eats bunnies and pigs and all, right? So he just thought it's a meal, so he had it. I was feeling a little better, but I still didn't have my cup of sugar. So I went to the next neighbor's house. This neighbor was the first little pig's brother. It's unfortunately, right? He was a little smarter, but not much. He had built his house of sticks.
Yeah.
I rang the bell on the stick house. Nobody answered. I called, Mr. Pig, are you in? He yelled back, go away, wolf. You can't come in. I am shaving the hairs on my chinny chin. I had just grabbed the doorknob when I felt another sneeze coming on. I huffed and I snuffed and I tried to cover my mouth, but I sneezed a great sneeze.
Yeah.
Oh no, and you are not going to believe it, but this guy's house fell down just like his brother's. What we were thinking, he actually were attacking the pig and he sneezed, right?
Yeah.
But it was not like that. So accidentally the sneeze came
He
and
said,
it fell
I
down.
will puff.
No.
Huh.
When the dust cleared, there was the second little pig, dead as a doornail.
But they
Whose
weren't
honor?
all dead.
Yeah. Now you know food will spoil if you just leave it out in the open. Yeah. Food chumma kadukvaanengil cheetai pothille. We can't waste food, right? So I did the only thing there was to do. I had dinner again. Think of it as a second helping. I was getting awfully full, but my cold was feeling a little better. I still didn't have that cup of sugar for my dear old granny's birthday cake. So I went to the next house. This guy was the first and second little pig's brother. He must have been the brains of the family. He had built his house of bricks. I knocked on the brick house. No answer. I called, Mr. Pig, are you in? And do you know what that rude little porker answered? Get out of here, wolf. Don't bother me again. Talk about impolite. He probably had a whole sack full of sugar, and he wouldn't give me even one little cup for my dear sweet old granny's birthday cake. What a pig. I was just about to go home and maybe make a nice birthday card instead of a cake. When I felt my cold coming on, I huffed and I snuffed and I sneezed once again. Then the third little pig yelled, and your old granny can sit on a pin. Now I am usually a pretty calm fellow, but when somebody talks about my granny like that, I go a little crazy. When the cops drove up, of course I was trying to break down this pig's door. And the whole time I was huffing and puffing and sneezing and making a real scene.
Wait, what? Huffing and puffing and sneezing and making.
Now I am usually a pretty calm fellow. He is actually a pretty calm
I know,
fellow.
I
But
understand.
somebody was talking about his granny, right? Yeah. So he got so mad. When the cops drove up, of course I was trying to break down this pig's door. That pig called the cops. Okay. Pig was trying to break down that pig's door. Wolf was. And the whole time I was huffing and puffing and sneezing and making a real scene.
Mama, you know how the pigs are all dead, right? The other two pigs. Look, 1, 2, 3 pigs. So they actually aren't.
The rest, as they say, is history. The news reporters found out about the 2 pigs I had for dinner. They figured a sick guy going to borrow a cup of sugar didn't sound very exciting. So they jazzed up the story with all of that huff and puff and blow your house down. And they made me the big bad wolf. That's so sad. That's it. The real story I was framed. So എല്ലാവരും കൂടെ അങ്ങനെ ഉണ്ടാക്കി കഥ പറഞ്ഞതാ. But actually that wolf was not as bad. But maybe you could loan me up a cup of sugar. Oh, he's coming again.
Pig pen.
So that was the story.